All right, welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to pull back the curtain on a hidden pattern in football. It happens every single season, right in front of our eyes, but most of us never really notice it. And it all starts with the sound of the referee's whistle on opening day.
You know that feeling, right? You waited all summer for the new season, you sit down for that first match, and it just feels messy. It's all stop-start, the whistle's going constantly, players are throwing their hands up, the game just can't get any flow.
Well, guess what? That's not just in your head. It's a real, actual, measurable thing. What feels like total chaos is really a predictable pattern. And we're going to break down exactly what's going on, and more importantly, why it happens. So get this. In the 2023-24 Premier League season, the average number of yellow cards per match rocketed up to 5.1. Now, that's not just a high number. That is the single highest average in the entire history of the Premier League. This wasn't a little blip. It was a seismic shift.
And that brings us to what I'm going to call the opening day card fest. We saw big time in that 2023-24 season. I mean, you had opening games with 6, 7, sometimes even 8 yellow cards. This was no accident. It was a statement.
So, what's behind it all? Are the players just out of practice? Nope, not really. The main reason for this is an annual top-down instruction. It is not random whatsoever. It's a deliberate strategy from the leagues themselves.
And there's a name for it, the crackdown effect. So here's how it works. Before every season, the league bosses give new instructions to the referees, new rules to focus on. And to make sure everybody gets the message loud and clear, the players, the managers, everyone, they come out in week 1 and enforce those rules with absolute strictness. It's like a hard reset on discipline.
That 2023-24 season is the perfect example. The refs were told to clamp down on 3 things: any and all time wasting, absolutely zero tolerance for players arguing back, and much more accurate World Cup-style stoppage time. So those 3 things alone are pretty much the reason for that historic explosion in yellow cards.
Okay, but this is where it gets really interesting. It's a little counterintuitive. You'd think, tons of yellows, that must mean more reds, right? More second yellows, more players getting sent off. But that's not what happens. And that's what we call the yellow card paradox.
So you have to look at the other side of the equation. What's going on in the players' heads? For sure, they're eager to make their mark. They're maybe not quite match fit, which can lead to some sloppy fouls. But there is one thing they absolutely do not want: to get suspended in the very first week of the season.
And this right here shows you the result of that thinking. Yellow cards for the small stuff, kicking the ball away, arguing with the ref, they surge. But the kind of big, reckless, dangerous challenges that get you a straight red card, those stay incredibly rare. Players will push the limit, but they know where the line is for getting sent off. And just to give you some perspective on how rare we're talking, look at this. In the entire 2022-23 Premier League season, there were only 30 red cards shown. 30! That's the fewest in decades. So even when there's a major crackdown on the little things, those game-changing red cards just don't really happen on opening weekend.
Okay, so what does this all mean for us? This whole pattern, lots of yellows, hardly any reds. It isn't just a quirky stat. If you happen to follow the betting markets, understanding this gives you a really clear data-backed advantage, especially in those first couple of weeks.
Right, let's just quickly walk through this. The bookmakers, they can be a bit slow to react to these rule changes, so betting the over on total cards in week 1 can be a smart move. But on the flip side, betting no on a red card being shown is usually a pretty safe bet, and you can almost guarantee that first yellow card is going to come early, as the refs try to lay down the law.
And hey, this isn't just an English thing. This crackdown effect is pretty common across the big European leagues. You see it a lot in Spain's La Liga, which is already famous for high card counts, and definitely in Italy's Serie A, where the tactical foul is basically an art form.
But here's the final twist. This super intense card-happy period, it doesn't last. The crackdown has an expiration date, and as the season goes on, things always calm down.
There's a name for this too: enforcement fatigue. And it's exactly what it sounds like. It is just not sustainable for refs to be that strict for 38 games. The players adjust, the rest relax a little, and the officiating just kind of drifts back to normal. It reverts to the mean.
And you can see that fatigue playing out in real time right on this chart. After that record high of 5.1 yellows per game in August, look at September. It dropped quite a bit. That dip just 1 month in, is all the proof you need that the crackdown is really just a temporary thing.
So what's the bottom line? All of this predictability, the pattern, the edge you might find, it's all packed into the first few weeks of the season. This knowledge has a very short shelf life. It's most powerful right at the beginning, before that enforcement fatigue kicks in.
I think this quote just nails it. Opening matches are more than just about winning or losing. They're a proving ground for new laws, officiating trends, and disciplinary patterns.
So, to recap the whole thing, here's your 4-step playbook. 1. Before the season, look for any news about rule changes. 2. Brace yourself for that Week 1 crackdown. 3. Watch for that key imbalance. Lots of yellows, very few reds. And 4. Expect it all to fade away as we get deeper into the season.
So there you have it. You're now in on the secret. The next time you sit down to watch the first game of the season, it won't just look like chaos anymore. You'll see the script playing out. So, when match day 1 rolls around, what are you going to be looking for?